Phantom Fam. Remember when I mentioned a Haunted Castle series? Well, here it is, and boy oh boy, are we kicking it off with a bang. In today's episode, Nat and I, me as Kate, are going to cover a whole smorgasbord of different topics. So, I hope you're ready not to tiptoe or ease yourself in, because today we're freaking flinging you into the madness in this episode of Wading into the Void.
Okay.
Okay, sis. So, let's be honest here. How many of you were waiting for the Scottish accent after I announced we're kicking off my Haunted Castle series?
I mean...
Be honest, I know you were waiting. But surprise, I'm not. At least for now.
Okay.
In fact, I'm going to say nothing more about this castle until we've done our tarot reading for the day.
Oh.
But before then, I would like to apologize in advance if I'm giving off like Lindsay Lohan vibes with my voice, because I went to Florida last week, had a blast, but a cold snap set in, and I got a cold and was not spending $200 on a fucking coat while I was down there, so yeah. But to put it into perspective, the last night we were there, I told Nat this already, it got down to 25 degrees outside. Yeah. 25 fucking degrees in Florida. That's like a hate crime.
Oh, jeez.
So,
Jeez.
So with the quick sorry for my voice aside, Nat, why don't we do our tarot?
Yes, I'm ready. This is gonna be so quick, guys. So quick. You don't even understand how quick it's gonna be. Alright. So, we are doing a deck that I haven't done in a really long time. That's probably one of my favorite decks, just because of how fun it is. We are doing the Rebel deck.
Okay.
If you want to get a Rebel deck, you go to rebeldeck.com. REBELDECK. Rebeldeck.com. Doesn't say anything about who the fuck made it, but it probably does on the website.
Yeah.
So, this card... Every single card in this deck, if you're not aware of this already, I know we've done it only a couple times, but it has a front and a back. So the front's kind of just like the gist of what it's about, and then the back says, a couple more sentences. So,
okay.
This one says, stop texting, stop stalking, stop checking on that person, just fucking stop. Okay?
Okay.
You know who you are. If this message is for you, listen to it. It says, spend your time on someone worth it. Don't waste it on ridiculousness. So, word.
I mean, that does not apply to me in any sense. So
I mean, maybe me. I don't know.
I don't know what she'd be up to these
I
days.
don't either.
So,
So, whatever. Take that as you will. If you find yourself, like, fawning over this person who really isn't giving you the attention that you want, but you're still, like, being obsessive about it, maybe take a step back and try to figure out why you're feeling obsessive about it. Because I know I've been through situations like that before where it's like, I'm always looking to see if this person looked at my Instagram story, my Snapchat story, or if they read my message, or blah, blah, blah. And it's like, why do I want that attention? Why am I not getting this immediate attention that I want? Am I feeling bad about myself and I want that attention to make me feel better? So, take a look at what's going on the inside, okay?
don't be a pick-me bitch.
And you know what? In 9 times out of 10, that person isn't gonna be shit anyways, so...
Truth!
It's all about you, baby.
You, yourself,
and make sure you love you. Because as Mama Roo says, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen up in here?
Amen, motherfucker!
So, yes. Yeah.
Stand right.
Let's just go on to our tarot. Okay, we are doing the Tattoo Tarot, Ink and Intuition.
Ooh, okay.
We haven't done this one in a while because it's
We
very
have not.
straightforward, just like the Rebel deck.
It is.
The illustrations are by Mega Munden, and the design...
Hey, Mega.
No, not Megan. Mega Munden.
Hi, Mega.
Design by Johnny McCullough, and text by Diana McMahon Collis.
Okay, those are some names.
Those are some crazy names. So today we got the Ace of Wands, and you're not ready for this description because it is literally like bap, bap, bap,
Okay.
bap, okay? It is birth, nativity, force, primary energy, vigor, vitality, creativity, new enterprise, first fruits, family origins, progress, invention, dramatic impact, release of energy, initiative, aiming high, extremism. So, what do we get from that?
I am so sorry I bought you that deck.
This deck...
What do you even get
This
from
deck
that?
is all over the place, but to me, it kind of seems like how we talked about in our last episode. Our cards kind of pointed to this is a fresh start. This is the beginning of the new year.
Fair enough.
This is the time where people... This is right before the winter blues start to hit, by the way.
Ooh.
But people are still kind of inspired at this time. I am very inspired right now. I just got an iPad for the first time in my life.
Yes,
And I plan on getting more into digital art. Am I good at it? No. Do I want to be good at it? Yes. So
she gonna finesse this
I'm
shit.
gonna finesse this shit. I'm gonna make progress. I'm gonna make a dramatic impact in myself.
Yes.
Go at it with a vigor and vitality and creativity. It's everything I just read. So
Stunning, show-stopping, spectacular.
oh God, Lady Gaga, I love you.
I fucking love that woman. Have you seen the memes of her, and they're now comparing her once again to the one woman from The Incredibles?
Yes!
That, like, blonde woman?
That one picture of her with, like, no makeup on, and they're like, this is the villain from Incredibles. Yes. What's her name?
And
Camilla
you know what?
or something?
Yeah, something like that. But in full disclosure, I am, like, as straight as they come. I am not attracted to women in any sense.
Yeah, but she's hot.
But, like...
The
but,
character
like, if Gaga came up to
and
me
Lady Gaga.
and was like, get in this circular thing, I'm gonna put electricity on your wrists, I'd be like, okay.
What? The hell are you
I'd be like,
talking
okay,
about?
Gaga.
Get in this.
That's what she does.
Get in this circular thing.
Yeah, don't you remember in the movie, I think it's Mr. Incredible, they have him in, like, this circular thing, and it's, like, electricity that's holding him.
I thought you were talking about Lady Gaga has some weird, like, electro kink. I was like, well, do you remember in The Sims, that one thing that the Sims can get in where their hands go up and their feet go down and they
Yes.
spin around like crazy? Yes. That's what I was thinking you were talking about. But Lady Gaga, like, shocking you. And, like, she's into it.
Gaga just has one in her home.
And she's into it. I would not be surprised.
Gaga can do what Gaga wants, and that's the end
Pulled
of
out
that.
the meat dress. I would not be surprised with the shock sphere.
No. This is just a Lady Gaga stand podcast. If
Honestly.
you haven't figured that out by now, but yeah.
You know, I never watched wasn't she an American Horror Story?
Yes, she's been in a couple of them.
I
now,
haven't
actually.
watched anything past Freak Show, and I didn't even finish Freak Show because it was weird as hell.
Okay, so, like, here's my rating, right? Murder House is fucking fantastic.
Murder
but
House
I'm a
is
Coven bitch.
Yeah.
So, Coven's number one, okay? Then we're doing Asylum, because that shit was fucking
That
fantastic.
was great. The first 2 seasons slap.
They were amazing.
They were so good.
And then Murder House.
Which one's Murder
The
House?
top 3. Murder House was season 1.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, the first 2 seasons were great.
They
Freak
were.
Show,
but
I think I could probably get with now. But when I first watched
then it was too much.
I was like, this is really weird and scary, and I don't like this. It's not scary in a good way. It's like really weird, disgusting, like sexual
it made
stuff.
Me uncomfy.
And I think that's most of American Horror Story is like weird, disgusting sexual stuff.
Yes. I mean, yeah.
Because I feel like
all it really
is. The first and second seasons, they had their weird supernatural aspects, but all in all, they were pretty realistic horror.
I would think so, yeah. And then Coven was just...
You know what? I didn't watch Coven, fantastic. And that I always wanted to watch.
Bitch.
I should. That should...
Go watch
What is it? Is it on Netflix? It used to be.
Maybe?
I'll have to figure it out.
If not, it might be Hulu. I'm not
sure. That's the only streaming service I don't have.
Or Prime. It could be on Prime.
I have Prime. And I have Max.
But yeah, Coven's my favorite. It's just so good. But then, Freak Show came around and I, tried to watch it, but I couldn't get into it.
I think I watched,
Maybe it was because Evan Peters had, lobster hands.
Yeah.
I don't know. And that's not judging anyone who has any type of,
they're just they
thing,
they fetishized it, which was really odd to me. It was like, this is just a dude, but then they were like, all the middle-aged women love to get their coochie slapped by Lobster Boy, and it's like, what are you talking about?
And that was episode fucking 3 and 4 of the season.
That's the last episode I watched. I was like, when that guy pulled his hair back and there was a whole damn face under there, I was like, I don't think I could do this. I'm gonna have to put this on the back burner, and then I never watched American Horror Story again.
That was me, and I was super upset about it because I've said on this podcast before, I fucking love Kathy Bates. She is amazing. And she started her journey with American Horror Story in season 3, which is Coven. And season 4, Freak Show, was when she was going to have a first big role. And I just couldn't get through it because of Evan Peters and his lobster fingers.
Yeah.
So, but that aside, let's do the fucking episode.
If you guys have comments about American Horror Story, if you think I should watch it, let me know.
I definitely do, but here's my thing. You can't go into it with season 1 and 2 expectations.
Yeah. Well, that's
because it is not the same show after season 3.
Crazy to me is that I completely skipped season 3 because I thought it was going to be boring. But I heard it's one of the best seasons.
It is one of the best seasons, but it is so incredibly different from the first 2. And I think that might be why you were worried it was going to be boring.
It reminded me a little bit of Scream Queens. Do you remember that show?
Yes, which is ironic considering
it's all the
Emma
same,
Roberts is also in that
the same fucking characters.
But basically the whole thing is just steeped in witchery and NOLA lore, which is everything under the sun. They go into Marie Laveau, and they cover the topic of slavery and Madame Lalaurie, which
I didn't know
Kathy
it was
Bates
set
plays.
in that time period.
It's not.
Oh, yeah, because I thought it was modern.
Which is where their little supernatural-esque American Horror Story thing kind of comes in. It's pretty fucking great. You need to watch it.
All right, I'll watch it. That's my New Year.
You're next on the list.
That's my job now. My thing that I have to do.
Okay. Your
my one job for the year, for the podcast.
And I expect full-blown appreciative updates as you go through it.
Oh my gosh! Every episode now, I'm going to tell you what episode I'm on.
Please do. But also know that Stevie Nicks is in that fucking season. So it is just
this is everything
if my personality was
everything she can possibly love is in one season of this random ass show.
It is, honestly. It is.
You got Nola.
You got witches. You got fucking Stevie Nicks. You got Kathy Bates. Evan Peters, who I had a humongous crush on
You know
when I was
what?
younger.
That's
so
understandable. I think everyone did.
How could you
He's
not?
cute. I don't know. He's kind of scary a little bit.
But now he's Jeffrey Dahmer, so
Yeah.
I'm, like, conflicted.
I don't know.
Okay. We said 5 minutes ago we were gonna...
Yeah, let's go. Let's
the actual
go.
episode. Okay. So let's get going with our first haunted castle, even though we would love to just talk American Horror Story this entire thing. I wanted to kick it off with a bang, and something that, in a sense, kind of felt a bit familiar to some of the things we've already discussed on the pod before.
Okay.
This topic I will unveil as the episode progresses. I don't want to give it away now. And Nat, I promise you will know what it is as soon as I say it.
I probably will.
The location, however, you might not know.
Okay.
Today, we were going to be talking about Moosham Castle, or Schloss Moosham if you're located in Austria, where this castle
Are we talking
stands.
about what we've been talking about for a while?
No.
What are we talking about? Are we talking about Rasputin and the Romanov family? What's happening? Is
We're
it
not,
finally?
I promise you.
It's never happening. This is gonna be the one, what is it? What are those episodes called? Oh my god. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
I know what you're
cartoons
talking
where they're
about.
like, this is the secret episode that never aired. It's like the conspiracy
Yes.
theory episodes. That's gonna be the Romanoff episode.
We're just gonna keep talking about it for all eternity, but never actually cover it.
Yes.
No, but I promise you that's not what we're doing. But this will still pack a punch. So, Moosham Castle is a massive stone structure and is located on the top of mountain points or hills in the Unterberg region of Salzburg, Austria.
Interesting.
And I'm gonna try my hardest with the pronunciations, okay? But some of them are different and difficult for my very American tongue.
This is somewhere we've never been before on the podcast, right? Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, I know who we're talking about now.
Do you?
I think you told us in the New Year's Eve special.
Oh, no, we are not talking about
Oh
Dracula.
my god! What is it?
You're gonna love it and you're gonna hate it at the same
Okay.
time, I promise. The castle, like many other castles, was built atop a mountain for defense purposes. It allows its inhabitants a clear view of any approaching forces that, typically made it more challenging for attackers to breach the fortress. That being said, Moosham Castle was no stranger to battle. The site was actually home to 45 incredibly bloody battles throughout its lifespan as the residence of the Episcopal Burgrave.
Huh?
Exactly. So an Episcopal Burgrave is essentially a lord, merchant, or some type of royal figure with a plentiful amount of land that they oversaw to turn coin. So kind of like a Scottish laird, if you will. Basically, they just oversaw a bunch of land and property and got taxes and yada, yada, yada. However, the battles are not what makes this castle well known to history buffs and the citizens of Austria. That would be the torture, executions, disappearing famous works of art, the witch trials, and of course the ghosts.
Oh, goody.
Yes. Now that it's thrown out there, let's backtrack a little bit and start at the very beginning, shall we? Now, although Moosham Castle has physical records dating back to 1191, the fortress is actually built on top of the foundation of a previous Roman fortress. So, there's literally hundreds of years of history buried beneath Moosham Castle's foundation, which is nuts.
Wow.
This castle is massive and stands 3,540 feet tall. So, big place.
Yeah, that's massive.
But don't let its age surprise you. The castle has been modernized since its construction several times. I'm pretty sure it has functioning electricity and plumbing nowadays, so it's doing well for itself. Because yes, it's still standing and in operation. So, I mentioned it has a lengthy history, but the first major event took place, at least that we have a record of, took place in 1285, nearly 100 years after its first known record. This was when the Prince Archbishop of Salzburg seized the castle. After that, the documents of the castle's history were either not recorded or simply lost to time, as there's no new documentation until the 14th century.
Interesting.
So they basically lost like 300 years worth of history, which fucking sucks.
Yeah, that's so awful. That happens so often, too.
It really does. And God knows after what I go into in this episode, you're going to wonder what the hell happened before then.
Oh, God.
If 300 years is lost to time, you have no idea what fucking happened before.
That's scary.
So, during the 14th century, Moosham Castle served as the main residence for the Episcopal Burgrave, which I mentioned earlier, and after being modernized and expanded, Moosham Castle was recognized as the region's administrative seat in 1520. So now they're, like, actually a Scottish laird. They're, like, seeing requests, offering help for their citizens, and blah, 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 blah. Now that the formal history about conquering and seat changes is done, because it's a shocker that this one was fairly simple. Not like the one we did for Windsor Castle a while ago, where I was like, and then Jimmy the Eighth took it over, and then Bill the Fifth,
Tommy
and then
too took it.
So let's cover some grittier topics now.
My favorite.
Naturally, we're gonna start with the bloodshed.
Yeah,
Right.
Yes, let's go.
Feels like a good place to start. So, like I mentioned a couple minutes ago, Moosham Castle was the site of some pretty bloody conflicts. These included small local wars, a few Austrian-Hungarian wars, the Flemish Revolt, which apparently was just a series of rural riots, so the farmers got pissed and, like, stormed the castle.
That's like literally every revolt.
Literally. And here's the big one. The Crusades.
Oh.
Because the church.
Because the church can't let people
Jesus
be by themselves and think their own things.
Exactly. On top of that, the castle was besieged by peasants during the German Peasants' War for a year.
Sorry, that wasn't funny.
Very descriptive name, right? I know.
The worst name ever. The shit-ass rebellion.
Remember the German Peasants' War. And that started in 1524.
Damn. They could have just said the pleb rebellion. Pleb rebellion.
Something. I don't even fucking know. But another interesting tidbit that took place here involved a man named Archbishop Wolf Dietrich von Rathenau.
What?
Who saw a sign.
Excuse me, what? What was his name? Rathenau?
I told you, I'm trying. I'm gonna try so hard with the pronunciation.
How do you spell that?
Oh boy. So we have Archbishop.
Yeah, okay, that's great. That's fine.
Okay. Wolf. Dietrich. So Dietrich. Yeah. Von. Von. Rathenau. Rathenau. I don't know. Raitenau.
Rathenau? Yeah, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Crazy ass motherfucking name. My name's Wolf. Archbishop Wolf.
Yeah.
What was it? Archbishop?
Yep. Archbishop Wolf Dietrich von Rathenau.
Jesus.
And, like, all of the names are so painfully fucking long. So
That's, like, classic.
I'm so sorry.
Classic Austrian names in this time period.
Oh, definitely.
Archbishop Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart.
Fucking basically.
Ratino.
So I'm gonna say it one more time, just for the fucking hell of it, and then we'll get into
right.
it. So, a man named Archbishop Wolf Dietrich von Rathenau, so casual, sought asylum at Moosham Castle in October 1611 after fleeing Salzburg. All was going well, until he misjudged how he would be received and was captured by those inhabiting the castle and imprisoned for life.
Oh.
And likely, suffered a shit ton of torture.
Damn.
He was like, they'll help me. Nope.
No,
they
sir.
won't. They really said, fuck that archbishop, not today.
Fuck that guy.
So, speaking of torture, let's shift gears again and talk about the period of history surrounding Moosham Castle that was more bloody and gruesome than the numerous battles fought here combined, shall we?
Sure.
That topic, I hope you're ready for this one, is called the Zauberjack Trials.
Hell yeah, Zauberjack.
And it is one of the most horrific witch hunts in European history.
Oh my god.
These trials took place from 1675 to 1690, so significantly longer period than the Salem witch trials we know so well.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually ended 2 years prior to the Salem witch trials, which took place in 1692. To continue this minor comparison for us Americans, so we can put it in, American terms so we understand it. The Salem witch trials resulted in 25 deaths, which is, terrible. Whereas the Zauberjackal trials resulted in 139 deaths.
Holy hell.
One major difference, other than the number being significantly higher, is that most of the victims were men.
Interesting. Is there a reason
so
why?
With that being said,
do you know?
You will find out.
Okay.
Yes. Let's get into how the Zauberjackal trials began, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like I'm fucking summoning, like, Merlin when I say it.
Zauberjackal trials.
This 15-year period of mass hysteria began in 1675 when a woman named Barbara Colleran, so fairly tame name for the time, was arrested for sorcery and theft. Her and her mans, Paul Kassenpatcher, were put on trial, which in this case basically meant they were going to be tortured. And now, I'm not saying I wouldn't say just about anything if I was being tortured, because I've never experienced it myself. But what Barbara did was kind of not great.
Oh, God.
So while undergoing torture, Barbara made the smart decision to confess that her son, Jacob Keller, was in a pact with Satan.
Oh.
Conveniently, her partner Paul confirmed this story. And it didn't take him long after this confession to have them get rid of Barbara. They executed her in August that year. And after that, the manhunt for Jacob began.
Damn.
I'm just gonna throw a little disclosure out here now that I have absolutely no fucking idea what happened to Paul.
Okay.
Because he was never mentioned again. Ever.
Amazing.
So let's just assume that they fucking brutally tortured him and executed him at some point. He's probably in that mix of 130 something that I mentioned.
Damn.
Yeah. So 2 years later, word of Jacob being dead reached the government. But a 12-year-old disabled boy known for begging, named Dionysus Feldner.
Dionysus? Like the god?
Dionysus, yeah. DionYsos, Dionysus.
What the hell?
contradicted this story. Dionysus, who was also referred to quite charmingly as Dirty Animal,
Damn.
was arrested at the same time and told the authorities that he had been in contact with Jacob just days before they arrested him.
I can't believe they call him Dirty Animal?
Dirty Animal.
Oh my god.
I also want to throw it out there that I have been absolutely fucking absorbing the new Percy Jackson series on Disney Plus. And a 12-year-old named Dionysus that just, like, goes in and fucks shit up and is also disabled in some fashion is so
That's
fitting
amazing.
for me right now. So I'm like, okay, bud, you do your thing.
Ah! Sorry.
What the fuck was that?
That was me being a silly Billy.
I love that for you. So, Dionysus, our boy, if you will, claimed that Jacob was a leader of a gang of beggar teens and kids local to the slum who taught children the art of black magic. Yeah, so Dionysus was like, yeah, not only is Jacob alive, but he's also a wizard and a gang leader who teaches kids how to beg and do black magic. It's like, you literally can't fucking make this shit up. It's so crazy. But thanks to Dionysus' statement, hundreds of homeless children were arrested the following years.
Oh my god.
Throughout the time spent interrogating the children and the adults they captured, the tales about Jacob began to get more and more outlandish.
God.
Eventually, the authorities began to fear Jacob.
What?
And thought him to be bloodthirsty and cruel.
What the hell is Jacob doing? Jacob has literally just lived his life. People are calling him a fucking dirty animal. People are, they fucking, like, took him, or whatever they're doing, and now he's a fucking demonic creature. I don't even know.
Yeah, no.
He's just kind of
like,
stinky, okay?
I don't even fucking know.
Do people at this point know how to wash their fucking hands? Why isn't everybody a dirty animal, huh? Why is it just Jacob?
I don't know. I just love that this whole thing started because his mother, Barbara, was like, he's in a pact with Satan.
I literally don't want to be a parent, so my child is fucking evil. Take him away. Bye, stinky.
My child from the 1600s probably has ADHD or autism, and I don't know how to deal with them. So I'm going to say he's in a pact with the fucking devil. So I'm just going to... So you can take him away.
So
basically, that's what I'm getting from this whole thing.
Fucking luck.
So like I said, eventually the authorities began to fear Jacob and thought him to be bloodthirsty and cruel. And in the end, they actually went out of their way to avoid capturing him. Like, they were so terrified of him, they did not want to go near him.
God.
So instead, Jacob would actually go down as the most famous wizard in the region's history and was never captured.
Okay, you know what? Maybe he was just, like, having a great time then, because if they...
He was probably just fucking
If he
it up
wasn't
at this
actually
point. He was
captured,
like,
then he probably just had, like, an abusive mom or something, and now he's, like, living his fucking life.
He's teaching a gang of children how to beg on the streets. They worship him. The fucking government is scared of him. Like, Jacob couldn't live a better fucking life.
Like, what more could you
He
ask
got rid of
for?
his trash mother. Like,
literally.
He's doing fantastic.
Real and accurate.
But that being said, that didn't stop the authorities from continuing to capture other homeless kids, because apparently that's, like, all they were good for and all they wanted to do.
That makes sense. Honestly, that tracks.
Right? But, you might be wondering what Moosham Castle has to do with any of this at all.
True.
And don't worry, I'm about to tell you.
Okay, I'm waiting.
These trials actually fucking took place on the grounds of the castle. In fact, it was involved in the whole process.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so those reigning over Moosham Castle were the administration, the court, responsible for the imprisonment, responsible for the torture, and eventually responsible for all the executions as well. Yeah.
Great.
So isn't that fun? So it all happened right here within the little, like, courtyard and jails and torture chambers of Moosham Castle.
Great.
So, of the 139 people who were executed at Moosham Castle, 113 of them were male.
Damn.
Yeah, so like I said, a lot of them were men. Each of these people were executed for being suspected of being loyal to Jack. 39 of these victims were children, the youngest being only 10 years old, and they were named Hannerl. I couldn't find if they were a little boy or a little lady, you know, so they're they for this purpose. 53 victims were between the ages of 15 and 21. So, children to us mostly, but not considered children at that time, so keep that in mind. Of those who were executed, 21 of them had no record of their age. And the oldest victim was actually a woman named Margaret Reinberg.
Okay.
She was 80 years old.
What the hell are they doing to these poor people?
They were like, yeah, you old
You're
bitch.
stinky, we don't like you.
We're gonna take you to the castle and torture you. Unless you tell us where Jacob is. And
Why are they so damn obsessed
who
with
the
Jacob?
fuck is Jacob?
He was like actually
no
a
fucking
child when
idea.
this started.
This
was so weird and random.
And it all started because his mother got caught for stealing and, like, telling the people at the local fucking watering hole that it was probably gonna rain next Tuesday.
What?
Like, and being accused of sorcery.
I'm so dead.
So, poor fucking Jacob.
This is crazy.
To me, Jacob is the hero of this story.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine him like Peter Pan and the Lost Boys, like these boys
that's a good
living
one.
out in the woods or something. Like, hell yeah, the government can't do anything. They're afraid of us. Like, government ain't shit on us.
Literally, I love it. But, the majority of these executions took place in 1681, so like in 1 year. But the torture went on for long periods of time. Each victim was brutally tortured. Some were burned on their chest by a hot iron, while others had their hands removed. If that wasn't gruesome enough, they had to contemplate which of the 3 types of execution they would receive.
Okay.
The victims were either hanged, decapitated, or burnt at the stake. So, yeah.
Great.
I don't know what one I would pick, but yeah, because each of them has a downfall.
Yeah, definitely.
I guess the whole thing I don't really understand about witch trials in general, because we're pretty much done with the Zauberjackal trials at this point. And I guess the thing I don't understand is, why do all of these events fucking hinge on what children say? Because at the Salem witch trials, it was those young, sneaky little bitches accusing other people. And here at the Zauberjackal trials, everything was going to be fine and dandy after Barbara got, and the government was told that Jacob was dead 2 years later, but then Dionysus came in and was like, psych, bitch, my 12-year-old ass is telling you that he's alive.
You know what? What
And
if that
then
was
hundreds of
really
people were brought in.
Dionysus, and he just wanted to fuck with the government? Because,
You know-
honestly, that is not out of their realm. Because Dionysus literally had a group of worshippers who were, like, cannibalistic, feral women who lived in the woods, And honestly, this isn't far from it, except for the cannibalism, obviously. But they only ate men, so whatever.
Okay, so listen to me here, right? So I looked up Dionysus, and how it is spelled in my thing on Moosham Castle is not the same as the actual god Dionysus.
It's a ploy.
But, so Dionysus is a Greek god.
I
told you this was built.
Dionysus came from, he's an outsider, he's a god outsider, he came from another country.
Yes. So, he was also known as Bacchus.
Bacchus, yeah.
By the Greeks, later adapted by the Romans. And where did I tell you that Moosham Castle was built on?
Fart baby twinkle sky.
Ruins of an old Roman fortress.
Oh, shit. See?
And Dionysus,
you know what?
is the god of winemaking, orchards and fruit, vegetation, fertility, festivity, insanity, ritual madness, religious ecstasy, and theater.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much.
So I would... you know what? Fuck it. We aren't even going to say he's Dionysus, the real one, okay? We're going to say he's his little fucking demigod kid that's 12 years old and fucking pissed because daddy wasn't looking at him. And this is what he caused.
But Dionysus doesn't have a gender, though.
They don't?
You know? Dionysus is one of the only gods that didn't have a binary pronoun. And
I fucking
Dionysus was often considered very androgynous. They would wear women's clothing but have masculine features. And a lot of people think of Dionysus as the first, like, trans god. But
I actually kind of
I think Dionysus was kind of
looking
more
at the statue.
Yeah.
I said he because they have a wang on this statue.
Yeah.
So, you know, assuming. But now that you point that out, like, they are wearing a flower crown and have, like, very long, neatly styled curly hair. And I could totally see
That's
that.
why Dionysus
1000%.
is one of my favorite gods, because they represent so much, and a lot of, originally, the Greek people absolutely love Dionysus and still worship him or them to this day. So it is really amazing, honestly.
Okay, so who would have thought that this whole story
would finally get Nat to talk about Greek gods? Just kidding.
That Nat would finally get her time to fucking shine and talk about her Greek gods.
Yes, absolutely.
No, but honestly, what this 12-year-old young boy came in here named Dionysus did, and basically fucked this whole thing up, to, as a result, get hundreds of people fucking killed, is hand in hand, honestly, kind of with what it sounds like Dionysus was up to a little bit in their free time, the actual god. So, insanity, theater, all that jazz. So, that aside, I was shocked to have never heard of Moosham Castle or the Zauberjackal trials until I was researching content for this episode. And this might actually be one of the most gruesome periods or events in all of history, in my opinion, because it pretty much centers around torturing fucking children.
Yeah.
For no purpose other than, like, madness and insanity. So, yeah. But thankfully, these Zauberjackal trials ended in 1690, and life returned back to normal at Moosham Castle, or, you know, whatever the fuck normal is after you execute over 100 people brutally within your walls. And this period of peace lasted until the Archbishop Count Hieronymus von Corralito.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not fucking saying that one again. Dissolved Moosham's bailiwick, which is a specific area or jurisdiction of something from what I found on Google. And I think it had something to do with their connection to the church because they stopped receiving funds from the church. So
I'm so sorry.
There was a little bit empty space, so I'm trying to fill in the gaps here.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
This is completely unrelated. Okay. I just went on my iPad and a picture popped up of the fucking nativity scene. And at the top, it is like the picture's so zoomed in, it's like cropped off of the screen. It says Jesus Christ in huge words. And then Luke 2:11-14. I have no clue what is happening on my iPad.
We're gonna fucking find out.
I'm scared.
Luke 2:11-14.
What the fuck?
Today, in the town of David, a Savior has been born to you. He is the Messiah, the Lord. This will be a sign to you. You will find a baby wrapped in clothes and lying in a manger.
I'm so scared! Why is this all Jesus? The app that I got is the home screen editor customization app where you can change things like pink and shit.
Uh-huh.
They have
apparently
multiple rows of Jesus customization. Jesus is born is like 500 different things you can choose from. Christian with the fucking cross emoji is another thing you can choose. I'm so confused. Literally the intro to that app that I had to click through was the nativity scene. I don't even want to use this app anymore.
What, it's too Jesus-y.
I'm scared.
Oh, good God. I fucking love it. They're like, Natalie, you are going to find the Savior Jesus Christ. He will be in a towel on your front porch.
Oh God, I hope not.
So basically, in relation to the church, that's where that comes from. Okay. But like I said, I basically think they decided to separate church and state in some fucking capacity at Moosham Castle. Don't quote me on it. But they were no longer receiving funds from the church, and the castle actually fell into disrepair without those funds. And with things going to basically to hell in a breadbasket around them, the locals in the area started to notice odd occurrences. Many of the local deer and livestock were being found mutilated and killed surrounding Moosham Castle.
Oh my God.
And, of course, the people living in this area were superstitious, because why wouldn't you be after hundreds of years of fucking torture? And they began to think that the remaining residents within the castle were turning into werewolves at night.
What?
And going on a murderous rampage around the area. Yeah. They were like, oh my God, fucking animals are being found mutilated. It could not be possible to be a wolf or a grizzly bear. I know what it is. The people in the castle are turning into werewolves.
I'm so confused.
That's the only logical explanation.
I'm so confused.
These people are on fucking crack cocaine. It is the only explainable fucking reason for their thought process.
That's so weird.
They, like, found raw crack cocaine somewhere, decided to, like, fucking snort or smoke it all. I don't know how you do it. I'm a child of the Lord. And they just went fucking nuts. So, thinking that the people inside the castle were fucking werewolves, which would be rad, okay? I'm not gonna fucking lie. The locals decided to go absolutely batshit crazy, marched into the castle, captured the remaining residents, and murdered them in the courtyard.
Wow.
Because that is a logical thing to do.
Wow.
But to be fair, I also didn't read anything else about any deer or livestock being murdered after this, so to each their own. Maybe they were fucking right. I don't know.
Damn.
But after that, the castle lay abandoned for nearly 100 more years after that. So, I don't know if you're catching on to this, but there's like this weird 100-year cycle that's kind of going on involving Moosham castles. Like every 100 years. Every 100 years. Something fucking strange is happening. But in 1886, the castle was purchased by an Austrian explorer and patron of the arts, Count Johann Nepomuk Wilczek.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I'm trying. Wilczek restored the castle, and his family owns the property to this day, actually. So, good on him. They've been keeping it in the family for, like, fucking almost 200 years.
Yeah,
which is pretty
you better
impressive.
work, bitch.
In fact, part of the castle is now an extensive art gallery that houses Wilczek's collection that he, put together over the years. Like I said, he was a patron of the arts. And better yet, it's actually open for the public to experience. So, that's pretty rad. In this long period of peace and prosperity, does, pretty much little to nothing to erase the horrific past and legends of Moosham Castle. And one of those legends revolves around a bailiff named Anton, who ruled over Moosham in the mid-1800s. Which, I don't know how that works if the castle was abandoned at this time. Regardless, he was known for his cruelty and love of torture. According to a website called The Little House of Horrors, where I got a good portion of this information, he took pleasure in torturing his prisoners in the most horrible ways, and he even mistreated his own parents.
Oh, lovely.
Eventually, the locals started to believe that he sold his soul to the devil. So maybe this is just fucking Jacob reincarnated. I don't know.
Oh, God.
According to the legend, one night when a particularly bad storm swept over Moosham Castle, Anton was making his way to the dungeons to admire his handiwork. I mean, he loved torture after all.
Oh my God.
Once he'd had his fill, he went back up to his living quarters, but was overcome with this, strange, terrible feeling that he kind of, couldn't put his finger on. So, rationally, he decided to have a drink, or 2 or 12, and sit and clear his head, as a man does at this time. So, while this is happening, a horse-drawn, shiny black carriage approached the castle, and as if done by magic, the gates opened up by themselves for this stranger. And once the carriage was stopped in the center of the courtyard, a figure draped in black climbed out of the carriage. But you see, it didn't take Anton long to fall asleep after he had his little bevies, So, after a brief little nappy nap, he woke up to a knock on his door. When he opened it, he encountered this mysterious figure. And this is when the stranger began to speak, saying, "Good night, dear man. I come from hell, and my prince ordered me to prepare you for your journey." At this, Anton began to cry and beg for his life like a little bitch he is, but to no avail.
Okay.
Torture people, you're gonna get what comes to you, So, the figure, death apparently, dragged him behind his carriage all the way to hell. So, little spooky story for you there.
Okay.
But what other spooky tales and spirits lurk in the hall of Moosham Castle? Well, people have reported paranormal activity at the castle for years, which is no surprise considering the terrible events that took place here. There have been incidents of people being touched, specifically in the torture chamber, or they've, been breathed on. People often see shadow figures roaming around, and white mist kind of floating throughout the castle. People also hear disembodied voices during EVP sessions and witness doors open and close on their own. Banging's heard and footsteps echo around the halls when there's proven that nobody else is there at the time. other than the person hearing them. And relating to the story I just told, apparently there is a dark presence typically felt in Anton's chambers.
Oh.
So that's interesting in comparison to the story I just told you. One commonly reported apparition is that of a woman dressed in period clothing. I don't know what period. It did not specify. And she's often described as a mourning widow. Visitors have claimed to hear her wails echoing through the castle halls, suggesting a tragic tale of loss and despair. And some people speculate that she may be the spirit of a woman who faced prosecution during the witch trials that took place at Moosham Castle. Speaking of the castle's historical association with the witch trials, it's believed that the spirits of those unjustly accused and executed may still linger within the castle as well. Which makes perfect sense, considering. One other apparition is the Phantom Horseman, which is very interesting because of Anton's story that we just talked about. There are tales of a spectral horseman who is said to ride through the castle grounds at night, and the sound of hooves and the fleeting glimpses of a rider in medieval attire add to the mystique of Moosham Castle's ghostly lore. Lastly, some visitors claim to have encountered the spirits of children within the castle. The reasons behind their presence are apparently unclear, seems pretty clear to me, but their appearances are often accompanied by a feeling of sadness and unease. While the ghost tales add an extra layer of mystery and fright to Moosham Castle, the reported phenomena are attributed to historical events, the power of suggestion, and typical paranormal activity that you're going to experience at a place that's as old as Moosham Castle. Meanwhile, the fortress itself continues to be a place where the line between history and legend blurs. Visitors who seek a taste of the supernatural will find Moosham Castle to be a captivating destination with a history that refuses to fade away. And that, my friends, is Moosham Castle.
Moosham.
Our first, or technically second, if you want to count Windsor Castle, in the Castle series.
I would count it.
I'll fucking count it.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, but that was Moosham Castle.
Amazing.
What do you think, Nat? I mean, place is fucking bonkers, honestly.
Yeah, that whole, beginning part, everything kind of spiraling after Dirty Animal, I can't get past that, honestly.
I know.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I was just completely flabbergasted when I was researching this. It's like one thing that's fucking insane, cuckoo nuts, would happen, and then, I would do a little bit more research, and then it was like, boom, werewolves. And then it was like, boom, fucking the Grim Reaper came to collect souls. And then it was like, boom, they captured a disabled 12-year-old child and called him mean names. What the fuck is happening?
So
But yeah, that's Moosham Castle. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know what you thought. If you were a little disappointed that there wasn't as many ghostly experiences, I honestly thought there was going to be more when I was researching it, but afterwards it seemed like it's kind of an afterthought. Yeah. But, I think there was a fucking shit ton going on that kind of made up for it a little bit. I mean, you got some stories in there.
Shit. That's for sure.
I feel like it's fitting to this podcast, you think you're going to get the spook and the scary, but then you turn out to get
the crazies.
Batshit crazy. So, yeah, let me know what you think, and you can do that on social media. We are on Facebook and Instagram at Wading Into the Void, or if you would like to chat about it with myself, Nat, or the fellow listeners, you can find us on Discord.
Hell yeah.
Or, if you have fucking stories of your own, which we haven't even mentioned this in a long time, feel free to send them into our email, wadingintothevoid@gmail.com.
Oh,
And with that, guys, we're outie.
Howdy, fat daddy.
Thank you for listening, everyone. Goodbye, and we will catch you in the next episode.
Bye.
See ya.